Hi guys, welcome to Buenos Aires, Argentina. Finally made it here, although it's been several days now. So last I talked to you guys, I was in Iguazu at La Garganta del Diablo. Amazing place, totally recommend it if you ever get the chance to visit. One thing I forgot to mention previously, just a cool, nice side note about people being nice, but when we were trying to make it to Iguazu and we were basically trying to hitch a ride from the toll by Residencia, this guy, before we ended up getting on that last bus to Corrientes, was going by on his bike and was asking me like if we had whatever, basically like to get somewhere. And I thought he was asking like if we had the card for the bus. Anyways, so I had first said no, and then I realized he was asking like if we had enough money to get somewhere. Anyways, and I was like, yeah, we're okay, don't worry about it. And he started taking out money to give me, and anyways, had a brief conversation with him, but basically was like, yeah, don't worry, we're fine. And he's like, no, like, just take it. And I was like, I feel bad. And he's like, no, I feel bad watching you guys out here. So anyways, he ended up giving us a few hundred pesos so we could like get a taxi into town, which was really nice. It's always nice finding those people who are willing to help out strangers. And anyways, we ended up catching that bus into town anyways. But anyways, just wanted to fill you in on that because I forgot. So after we were done exploring the rest of the falls in Iguazu, which was amazing as usual, we later went back into town and walked to basically this area where you have the three different frontiers or borders, which is Argentina, Brazil, and Paraguay. So checked out that area. They have some people selling things. Apparently there's like this fountain show, but it wasn't going on that day. I think it was on the weekend. So just kind of walked around that area. They have some monuments and things like that. And then later that evening we went to the ice bar, which was a cool experience because it's a novelty, but definitely not worth the way that they do it, the way that they run it. I would definitely do it differently. I feel like in Europe where they have it, it is different. I'm not totally sure. But the way that it worked there, it ended up being half an hour is all you get for the open bar once you get inside. And then one of the sucky things too was there was no buses running later that evening. So pretty much once we got there, we had to take a taxi back. So it was a lot of money for a very short amount of time. And then I forgot the tickets with our 10% discount as well. So anyways, short or long story short, it was cool, but pretty much not worth the time they give you, and you're like super rushed in and out, totally tourist attraction. I wouldn't do it again if it was the same kind of setup if they had it somewhere else, whereas like just a regular bar where you can go and have what you want, not be rushed, and that's made out of ice, that would be much better. So anyways, that was that though. It was a cool experience, although it was super cold inside. I think it was minus 10 degrees or something. That was that last day, and then the next day we really didn't have much time before flying out to Buenos Aires, basically trying to get some things taken care of. And then once we did get into town, right when we flew in, actually we saw this place that I remembered that had been years ago, which is basically like a fishing club, and it's this really pretty building on the water. Anyways, so Amber and I went there and had a coffee and just enjoyed the view on the water. The waitress ended up spilling the coffee on me, but luckily it went on my blue fleece, so it didn't leave a stain there, and I'm not a picky person, so it wasn't too much of an issue, but just a funny story. Smelled like coffee for a few days after that, so I could finally do laundry. And then our first day, pretty much exploring the city. We were staying in Palermo actually the first night. So that first night we got in, we actually ended up going out to dinner at this parrilla, so Argentinian steakhouse, and ended up going to one in Palermo, which was basically one of my study abroad directors from here years ago had recommended this place because his friend's the owner, so we went there and he gave us like a free drink each, so that was nice, and enjoyed a really nice dinner there. Afterwards we went to a couple places, bars, and there wasn't actually too much going on. I was surprised, even though it was a Wednesday night. Still, like, I feel like Buenos Aires you can always find things, but there wasn't too much. But we still got to check out a few bars. Ended up at this one where they're dancing cumbia, so hung out there for a little while, although cumbia is not my favorite at all. but it was still a fun late night. Yeah, just enjoying the city and the nightlife. We ended up coming back at, I don't know, like 5 something in the morning, I want to say. So the next day, basically we went out to explore La Boca. First, we spent a little bit of time earlier the day in Palermo. Stopped by the residencia where I used to do my study abroad programs at, basically where I was living. So it was really cool. Like, I didn't go in yet, maybe another day, but going by the building and just seeing everything that's so familiar and like all these places that I loved, and seeing what's still open and what's changed and things like that. So anyways, after we went around La Boca, the weather wasn't great. It was raining, so there wasn't like too many people out there, but it's still a nice part of town, colorful. It's one of those places you have to visit. Just a cute neighborhood and things like that. And eventually it started pouring rain later in the day, so we ended up just pretty much going somewhere there to eat just to wait out the rain. We were trying to see if we could get tickets to the football or soccer game, but they're super expensive. That's changed a lot in itself, the way that whole system works now. So super expensive, and then with the rain anyways, it probably got rained out. So I guess it worked out in the end, sort of. So that was that day. After that, the next day we ended up exploring a lot because, well, Amber didn't have a lot of time in Buenos Aires, so we were trying to squeeze in as much as we could. So first we went to Telmo, walked around that area, which has a lot of antiques and things like that, one of the touristy parts of town. And after that we walked around downtown a little bit, went to Plaza de Mayo, the main square where they have the presidential house and everything like that. We stopped in Cafe Tortoni, which is the oldest cafe in the whole country actually, and had some delicious hot chocolate. That's one of the things I remembered from there, so we were able to make it there. Also, my friend that I had met in Turkey, who's from Argentina, we met up with him, so he was hanging out and exploring with us. And then we walked around to where the obelisk is, and we're just taking photos and enjoying the sights and everything like that. And afterwards, Amber and I ended up going to this tango show. Well, actually, we briefly popped in Puerto Madero, but really didn't have much time there at all, just to try to show her. Didn't have time to walk around. Then went to this tango show called Piazzola Tango downtown, which was a really nice show. It was like the cheapest one we could find, but it was actually a really nice show still, and just had a bottle of wine there. And then we were basically trying to make it to Palermo to go to this one club, because I pretty much got in touch with this promoter from at least 10 years ago or more, when I used to live here, who was basically able to get us like a free dinner and open bar at this one place. We made it there too late for dinner, but we did make it there in time for the open bar, so I was able to have a few drinks there. And then checked out a couple of other bars around town, some places that I had remembered going out before and things like that. And again, went with that friend and some of his friends, so it was a really fun night. We literally were like running around so much that we didn't even have time to like sit down and eat a meal. So all we had is some empanadas that day, kind of like on the go. And so anyways, we pretty much went almost the whole day night without hardly eating anything and going out and drinking. So finally, towards the very end of the night, I was like, all right, let's leave this club and get food. And so all we could find open at that time was McDonald's. I haven't had McDonald's in who knows how long, but anyways, we had some burgers there and it was good, definitely what we needed. And then we finally made it home, so ended up going to bed at like 7:30 a.m. So very much Argentina nightlife style. Glad Amber got to see that, although it does kind of change your day plans because you pretty much want to sleep the entire next day. So the next day, eventually we made it out of the house and made it to the Feria in Recoleta, which is like an artisan fair. It's my favorite one in the city. Walked around there. Amber bought a lot of stuff basically before heading out and flying back out. And then yeah, I was pretty much too tired to do anything else the rest of the day. So the rest of the day was pretty chill. And yesterday I went with my couch surfing host later in the day after we slept in to Telmo, because Sundays is the day to go to Telmo. That's where they have the fair there and there's a lot of people. So again, just walked around that area. watched people dancing tango in the park in Plaza Dorrego. There were also people, we went to Plaza Lezama, where different people were hanging out there as usual, but also doing drums and music and dancing, which was actually like Uruguayan music, which reminded me of this Brazilian music because it kind of sounds like African beats and things like that. But anyways, it's cool to watch. And then basically they went around the streets in San Telmo, like playing this music in the streets. And anyways, just really lively, a lot going on. Saw the bar where they filmed the movie about Che Guevara, Motorcycle Diaries, in the beginning, where they filmed that scene before they take their road trip through Argentina and everything. And later checked out a few bars, had a choripan finally in the market, which is really good. Been looking for those everywhere, but they're not like everywhere as much as they'd like them to be. And yeah, pretty much just checked out some different bars and more of a low-key night, just tried a beer here and there kind of thing. And that pretty much gets you caught up to today, which I haven't done much yet besides the fact that I finally got my last vaccine for the rabies shot or whatever. Finally, it wasn't as much of a hassle this time. Only took, I think, about an hour total once I got to the hospital I needed to go to, which I checked in on a few days ago with Amber. So anyways, it took a little bit of going to different places within the hospital and them sending you around to go here first and then there and then come back here and blah, blah, blah. But finally got it, so I'm glad that's done and over with. And now I can just enjoy the rest of the trip. So I think I'm pretty much got you guys caught up on everything for the most part. I have noticed again since I've been back, almost everyone here thinks I'm Brazilian. So that used to always happen when I lived here before, and pretty much as I've been traveling, everyone thinks I'm Argentinian usually, but now that I'm in Argentina and they know I'm not from here, they guess I'm Brazilian. So that's always interesting. I think that's it really. If I forget anything, I'll fill you in next time, but let me show you real quick this park I'm in because it's really pretty, like a lot of the parks in Buenos Aires, but we'll give you an idea of where I'm hanging out at. So here you can see some music playing in the park. Very typical of a park in Buenos Aires. Some super panchos, which is really cheap hot dogs if you can't find any other food. It's hard to see down that way with the sun, but anyways, you can see the lake here. And then the fountain down this way. And also the giant fish. And some ducks down there. Alright, well that's pretty much it for now, so I'll probably do one more video actually while I'm still in Buenos Aires because it'll probably be a while, and we'll fill you on everything that happens next. Talk to you soon. Bye.